Story time with Mr. Lumada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lumada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lumada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lumada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing.
Good morning, and welcome to Story Time. Thank you for joining in. A little bit on Zambian time today, but we're here. Thank you for joining us on Story Time. So glad to be here together. How are you doing? And as always, please let us know where you're joining in from and who is joining in with you. Thank you so much for being here. This week, we indeed bring back some favorites, and of course, we'll be exploring some new books as well. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you're ready for this fine week that we have ahead of us. Fine week of wonderful books. And Catia Chien shows up twice this week. Thank you so much. Great illustrations, as you know. So look out for those books, including the one that we're starting with today, Things to Do. I love this one by Elaine, Magliaro, and illustrations, of course, by Catia Chien. Good morning to you and welcome. And this one is coming to you from Chronicle Books of San Francisco. A big thank you to them. Good morning to you and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Happy Monday. I hope that you had a lovely weekend. I hope you had a good weekend, and I am glad that we are here together for another week of story time, another week of great stories, another week of learning together. Thank you for being here. Good morning to you. As always, please let us know that you are here. Let us know where you're joining in from, and of course, who else is joining in with you. Thank you so much. Let us see who is with us this morning. I saw you, baby Mia, first through the door today. Thank you so much for joining in. Good morning to you as well. Amanda Waldman, how are you doing? And you're saying, good morning, story time friends. It's still dark and gray out in Seattle right now, but sunlight coming out soon. Well, thank you for joining in. Pia and I are cuddled up as per usual. Won't have anything less. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. And we do have the perfect book to go with your snuggles. Thank you so much for joining in today. Absolutely love it. In Oakland, the sun is coming out slowly. You can see it's getting brighter and brighter. And there's a building, I've mentioned this before. It catches the light just right. One of these days, I should take a picture so I can share it with you all and you can see what I talk about. Thank you so much for joining in, and it is beautiful. And right now there's a bird that is perched right by my window. I love it. Good morning to you and welcome to Story Time. Thank you so much for joining in. One more time, good morning to you, baby Mia, and of course Amanda. Thank you for joining us from out in Seattle. And of course Marlon, when you wake up, hugs to you. Good morning. How are you doing today? Good morning to you, Chrissy. How are you doing in sunny Vermont? Thank you for joining in. Bowden enjoying strawberry snack bar and is excited for the story. Well, Bowden, excited to have you here. And of course, your snacks are always a highlight as well. Thank you so much for joining in. Enjoy them. Yum, yum, yum. Thank you so much for joining in and welcome to Storytime from sunny Vermont. Enjoy it. Good morning to you. And of course, good morning to you as well, Amanda West. How are you doing? out in Illinois, bright but chilly Illinois, and of course Sarah and Nathan. Good morning to you. How are you doing today? Thank you for joining us on Storytime. And yes, we have things to do. We have a story to read, and this one is coming to you from Elaine, Magliaro, and illustrations by Catia Chien. Good morning to you and welcome. And of course, we're reading it with permission of the publishers, Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Good morning to you and welcome to Storytime. Thank you for joining us. Good morning to you. How are you doing today? Pamela Courtney and of course, Braylon Chad. How are you from Natchitoches, Louisiana? You say the robins have been prepping their spring homes the entire weekend. Please do share pictures. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm glad that you have that great company with you, but of course, great company here in the Storytime community. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Waving a cloudy hello. Well, good morning to you, right at you, and hopefully those clouds clear away very, very soon. Thank you so much for joining in. Pamela Courtney, Chad, and Braylon, good morning to you out in Natchitoches, Louisiana. And of course, Pamela Courtney, a big congratulations to you on your upcoming book. Cannot wait to see it. Thank you so much for joining in. And of course, I know it's always a long process to get the book published. So congratulations to you, and definitely looking forward to reading that book in the classrooms, at homes, and wherever people read books. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Glad you're here. Who's ready for the story today? I am, and this one is called Things to Do, and it is definitely coming to you from Chronicle Books of San Francisco, and we're reading it, of course, written by Elaine Magliaro and illustrations by Catia Chien. Good morning to you and welcome. Please let us know you're here. And remember too that you can catch Storytime always on our Storytime platforms at storytimewithmrlimada.com and also on our YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at Storytime with Mr. Limada. Catch us every time. And please remember too that this event is happening right for a reason. Keep sharing this event. Keep promoting it. We've raised so much together. We're over 75% of our target raised, and we'll keep going. We'll keep going and keep trying. Yes, we want to raise that $5,000 mark that we set here for ourselves. So thank you to everybody that has donated. Thank you to everybody that is sharing. And thank you to everybody indeed that has said lovely words of encouragement. And that is indeed what is needed as well. Thank you so much for joining in and for all the lovely support. Thank you. All right, let's get ready for a story really quickly. Good morning to you, Martha Lubasi. How are you doing out in South Africa? Thank you so much for joining in. Kunjani, how are you doing today? Thank you for joining us. Yes, Muzanzi in the house. I am glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining us all the way out in South Africa. Where are you in South Africa, Lubasi? Martha, thank you for joining in. Yes, indeed. Chris Mitchell Adams and Borden saying congratulations to you, Pamela Courtney. Absolutely, indeed. Thank you so much for joining in. All right, please do join me on the other side of this message, and we will get started with our story after that.
Hola, my name is Shamile Sayed Mendez, and I am the author of Where Are You From, Furia, and many other books for young readers. You're watching Storytime with Mr. Limada.
Thank you for joining in. Welcome back. And thank you. Of course, you know that Shamila Mendez has so many great books. I hope that you have a chance to check them out. Things to Do is here today from Elaine Magliaro and, of course, illustrations by the amazing Catia Chien. Good morning to you and welcome. And we're reading this one with permission of Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Waiting. And also just remember, too, that you can also do the Storytime messages and we're sending out invites. Please reach out to me if you'd like to do one of the messages. And so we can definitely have you say good morning to everybody and share your Storytime love right here on Storytime every single week. Thank you for joining in. Here we go. Things to do. We have things to do. Oh, yes, we're starting with this book right here. Things to do. This one written by Catia Chien, written by Elaine Magliaro, illustrations by Catia Chien, and read with permission of Chronicle Books of San Francisco. All right. Things to do if you are dawn. Shoo away night. We're seeing some of that just happen, right? Shoo away night. Wash the eastern sky with light. Wake the sleeping sun. Rise and shine. Oh, yes. Things to do if you're dawn. Rouse resting roosters. Set songbirds singing. Are songbirds singing in your backyard too? Let dreams drift away. Start a new day. Oh, yes. Start a new day. Things to do if you're birds. Go find your breakfast. It's strewn on the lawn. Better come get it before it's all gone. Stretch out your wings on the brightening sky. Morning's upon us. Get ready to fly. Oh. Things to do if you're a honeybee. Flit among flowers. Sip nectar for hours. Oh, that does sound good, doesn't it? Be yellow and fuzzy. Stay busy. Be buzzy. Oh, yes. Flit among flowers. Sip nectar for hours. Be yellow and fuzzy. Stay busy. Be busy. Be buzzy. Be buzzy. Things to do if you're an acorn. Oh, what are those? Wear a bumpy round cap and a starched brown coat. Grow plump, ripen, snap from your stem. And off you go, fall to the forest floor below. Tempt a scavenging squirrel. Let him bury you in a bed of earth beneath a blanket of moldering leaves. Dream the winter away. Then in spring, sprout. Let a little oak out. Tempt a scavenging squirrel. Let him bury you in a bed of earth beneath a blanket of moldering leaves. Dream the winter away. Then in spring, sprout. Let a little oak out. Oh. Things to do if you're a snail. Slowly, slowly, take your time. Slide along your trail of slime. The wonders of your world are small. Don't hurry by. Enjoy them all. Great advice for all of us, isn't it? The wonders of your world are small. Don't hurry by. Enjoy them all. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Things to do if you're the sun. Be big and round and bold and bright. Wear a crown of golden light. Shower down warm yellow rays. Rue the sky on summer days. Oh. Oh, yes. Things to do if you're the sky. Stay clear and blue. Let the sun smile down. Don't grow grumpy, gray, and frown. Don't scramble storm clouds. Don't grumble and complain. Don't stab the ground with lightning. Don't rain. Don't rain. Well, we do need a little bit of rain here in California. Don't rain. Things to do if you're an eraser. Be pliable and pink. If I draw before I think, rub out every mistake that I happen to make. That's what your job's all about. Go on, wear yourself out. Things to do if you're an eraser. Be pliable and pink. If I draw before I think, rub out every mistake that I happen to make. That's what your job's all about. Go on, wear yourself out. Things to do if you're scissors. Open wide your silver jaws, then snap them shut. Open, shut, open, shut. Snip, snap, snip, action, cut. We're not cutting story time yet. Things to do if you're rain. Polka dot sidewalks, freckle window panes, whoosh down gutter spouts, gurgle into drains, patter around the porch in slippers of gray, tap dance on the roof, then go away. Oh. Things to do if you're boots. Splish and paddles, splash on the walk. Make the fallen raindrops talk. Yes, indeed. Things to do if you're boots. Splish in paddles, splash on the walk. Make the fallen raindrops talk. Oh, yes. Things to do if you're an orb spider. Weave a web of silken strands with spinners. You don't need hands. A silver net, a sticky snare. A clever trap that's light as air. Oh, yes. Weave a web. Then watch and wait upon your woven dinner plate. No need to hunt to catch your prey. A meal will soon be on its way. How magnificent is that? Things to do if you're an orb spider. Weave a web of silken strands with spinnerets. You don't need hands. A silver net, a sticky snare, a clever trap that's light as air. Weave a web, then watch and wait upon your woven dinner plate. No need to hunt to catch prey. A meal will soon be on its way. It indeed will be. Things to do if you're crickets. Quiet fills the summer night. Fireflies dot the dark with light. Birds are nestled in the trees. The world is still. There is no breeze. Tune your instruments and sigh. Bid this balmy day goodbye. Rub wings and sing a lullaby. Things to do if you're a cricket. Things to do if you're the moon. Live in the sky, be bold or be shy. Wax and wane in your starry terrain. Be a circle of light, just a sliver of white. Hide in the shadows and vanish from sight. Look like a pearl when you're brimful and bright. Hang in the darkness, dazzle the night. Oh. The end. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. I hope you enjoyed this lovely book indeed, Things to Do. And this one was coming to you from Elaine, Magliaro, and Catia Chien. If this is not the most beautiful book that you're going to read today, I challenge you to send me the another one. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope indeed that you can find this book where you find books. And indeed do share all those recommendations of amazing, beautiful books out there. Share them with us here on Storytime so we can bring them and get to enjoy them. Thank you so much for joining in today. I hope bringing back this one has brought back good memories and indeed reminded you of how good a book it is. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. Things to do. And of course, remember too, we're reminded that there's so many things that we need to enjoy. Slow down and enjoy them. Just take time and enjoy them. And I thought that was really powerful message in there. Lots of good things to be reminded of in there. And just whether it's birds singing outside or being able to just enjoy a few things. I thought that was super powerful. And of course, with the snail, that was a really important point I think we should go back to. Let me see if I can get to it. And it says here, the wonders of your world are small. Don't hurry by. Enjoy them all. And I think that is indeed what our motto for today should be. Don't hurry by. Enjoy them all. So thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Here to remind each other to take time, indeed, take time for our health, to take care of ourselves and heal indeed as well. Thank you so much for joining in today. I hope you enjoyed that lovely book that we had today. And please do join us again tomorrow when we are back with more Storytime and we bring back another favorite, another one illustrated by Catia Chien, and this one is called The Longest Let's Go Boy, and this one is written by Derek Wilder. So please do join us for this one as well, coming to you from Chronicle Books of San Francisco. So tomorrow we're going on that Longest Let's Go Boy together, and let's find out what this one is all about, or indeed be reminded what that one is all about. But today was Things to Do, and hopefully you have reminded yourself of a thing or two that we're going to do. What I'm taking away today is I'm going to slow down and just enjoy things a little bit more. Thank you so much for being here. Let us see who was with us and letting us know how much you enjoyed that wonderful book. Thank you so much for joining in. The Seattle sky needs to read this book. We're ready for blue skies and no more grumpy clouds. Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing, Amanda and Baby Pia. Absolutely appreciate that. Love it. As I was reading those pages again, it definitely made me think of the Seattle weather. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yes, Seattle sky, read this book. That's your encouragement for today. So much love about this book. Absolutely, isn't it? Love the use of visual, rhythmic alliteration, and it rhymes. Yes. Thinking of all the fun activity for the kinfolk. Wonderful book. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. That's what Storytime is about. We have to keep sharing this book. So please do send me your recommendations, and we'll do our very best to bring them here to Storytime, and so others can enjoy all those lovely books that you've come across. Thank you so much for sharing that one, Pamela Courtney. Absolutely appreciate you. Borden, love this spider. Such a beautiful book. It is such a beautiful book indeed. Borden, thank you so much for joining in Storytime and appreciate you, buddy. You know who else you should read about? Anansi the Spider. I'm trying my very best to work and bring the Anansi Spiders back to Storytime so we can see what that trickster is up to. So thank you so much for joining in, Bowden. I hope that you enjoyed that one, and I hope that you get to enjoy many more books today. And of course, enjoying your snack as well. Thank you so much for joining in from sunny Vermont. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, thank you, thank you. I know. This one is, oh, it is a tough book, but it's such a beautiful book. I love how it presents the subject, how it approaches the subject that it teaches. And so definitely together tomorrow we'll be here, tissue on hand, ready, but definitely going to try and enjoy it as well. Thank you so much for sharing, Pamela Courtney. Absolutely appreciate you. Good morning, Karen Toppin. Are you joining us from Georgia? Thank you so much for joining in. Glad you're here. Thank you for being here on Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you. Good to see you back here, Karen Toppin. It's been a minute. I'm glad you were able to catch us on Storytime Live. Hopefully, you've been joining us for all the recordings. And please do leave us a message if you're ever there, just to let us know you were here. And so we can still say good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining in. Oh, yes, Storytime is for the young and the young at heart. And if we can make you feel young, then our job is done. Thank you so much for joining in. Martha Lubasi, all the way out in Pretoria, South Africa. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm glad you're here. Yes, indeed, it is about time. I think I made a trip back down south again very, very soon. Come to Mpumalanga a lot, so hopefully back in South Africa sometime soon. Thank you so much for joining us on Storytime. Glad you're here. Good morning to you. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Kleenex are a must for tomorrow's story. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. I am absolutely glad we're here together. It is always indeed a treat to be here with you all and indeed share a laugh, share good books, and of course, remind each other of great lessons in life. My takeaway for today: please remember, Seattle Sky, you need to read the book from today, but also remember to slow down and just enjoy the beautiful things around you, whether it's the birds singing or something that just makes you smile, something that puts a smile on your face. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. And remember, too, we're living at some difficult times, and so please do remember to check in with others, check in with neighbors. A little hello will go a long way indeed. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Once again, I am glad you're here. All the way out in South Africa, Martha Lubasi, please have yourself a beautiful, beautiful rest of the day. And of course, hopefully in South Africa sometime soon. Thank you so much for joining in, everybody. I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful evening wherever you are. Thank you. This has been Storytime for today. Please remember, we're back tomorrow with The Longest Let's Go Boy. Join in for this one by Derek Wilder, illustrations by Catia Chien, and of course, read with permission of Chronicle Books of San Francisco. A big thank you to all of you. Please enjoy the rest of the stories that we have for you this week. But of course, thank you for joining us today for Things to Do. A beautiful book indeed. Much love from me, and I will see you again tomorrow for more story time. Please remember that Ride for a Reason is going on this year. Support my ride. Please donate, share, and of course, go tell everybody out there this ride is happening. We're raising funds for public education, for public schools here in Oakland, as well as in Alameda, the city next door. So please do join in and share this fun, and of course, support the ride just with your encouraging words. We need it. The ride is happening on April 23rd, coming right up very, very soon. Much love from me, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Read me all of your stories. Some with people who look like me, others very different from the way that I look and think. Read me all of your stories. Read me all of your stories. Some stories from far away, others right here in my neighborhood. Read me all of your stories. Read me all of your stories. Some with people who look like me, others very different from the way that I look and think. Read me all of your stories. Read me all of your stories. Some stories from far away, others right here in my neighborhood. Story time. Ooh. Story time. Story time with Mr. Lumata. He will be starting soon. Story time with Mr. Lumata. stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing. Brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing.